Hello there. Thank you for tuning in to Mrs. Smalls Tries It All, the channel where Mrs. Smalls tries a little bit of everything and shares with you how it's done. So today, finally, I'm getting my garden started. And what I'm going to do is start with seeds inside for some, and then I'm going to put them outside. So my year is the year, this year, I'm sorry, is the year to expand. I'm going to open up a couple of extra areas, and I'm going to grow a little bit more food this year than I have in the past. And I'm going to do a little bit more variety. Of course, I'm going to plant the same things I always grow, my collard greens, turnips, kale, things like that, along with my peppers and tomatoes. But I'm also going to add different melons, watermelon, cantaloupe. Never grew cantaloupe before. Have grown watermelon before. My only problem with watermelon is knowing when to pick. I'll learn on that. If you know something I don't know, please share. But we won't be picking those until much later in the summer. I'm also going to do okra, like I stated, and arugula. Try to mix that in the salad and see, what's going on with that. So one thing I wanted to share, like I always do, I want to share where I got some of the things from, and I just want to give some tips on at least starting the seeds themselves. So I have these little planter kits. I got these from Amazon. They were, I believe they were like $20 for 10. You could start 20 seeds. Now I've started the peat pots that go directly in the dirt. I started with those that had the plastic lid. My only problem with that was sometimes it had too much moisture, and then when I would take the lid off, it would become too dry. So with these little kits I got here, they have these little adjustable vents here. So it has this little thing on it. Put it on, and then you can adjust the vent to have the air come in to kind of get rid of some of the moisture, and then close it so that you don't overdo it. I also have a light, and I'll show you what that little light kit does. Now, even though I put the table by the sunniest room in the house, I did that. I still got a grow light to kind of help, because what I did notice last year, and if you've already started your plants and you started to notice this, this tip will share that you need more sunlight. The plant would grow like the 3 inches, how they said, make sure like with tomatoes and peppers, it needs to be about 3 inches before you can take it outside. The problem was it was like this tall, skinny thing. It was just this super skinny seedling still. Even though it was like 3 inches, the stem wasn't fat. It was just long and skinny. And so I looked it up, and what I found out, it was long and skinny because it needed more sunlight. And so when I got the light, it kind of helped. Some of them, weren't saved, but enough were saved where I still had my variety of tomatoes, peppers, and all that other stuff. So that's just one little tip. Now, like I said, I got these little growing kits from Amazon with the vents. I like that. All right, so I also got this survival garden seeds for the home garden, and it's 30 different heirloom seed packets. Some of them are repeats. I mean, that's fine. Like if you like cabbage and stuff like that, repeats is stuff that people like a lot of, okay, which is cool. But they also have some other things that, other things in here. Now, I'm going to tell you the one downer. Yes, when I initially bought the survival garden seeds kit with the 30 seeds, I looked through, and my purpose was to purchase it because it had collard greens. I wanted to make sure I had all that other stuff in there along with collard greens. They did not have collard greens. Maybe some packs do, some packs don't. This pack didn't. I had to go and buy another set of collard greens from the same company though. Now, the reason why I do like this company is because it shows you how to save the seeds at the end, right? It says pick flower stems after beat tops, have turned brown, allow to dry completely, and then strip seed from plant materials by hand. Label and store in dry pack, place up to 3 years. Now, let me tell you, I've planted gardens for a few years now. I'm going to say this is probably about year 7 of me planting a vegetable garden. I did have a year or two where I need to give my soil a break. And I haven't seen the seed companies kind of share how to save seeds. Like I had to look that up. And I mean, that would make sense because, of course, they want you to buy their seeds, right? Every year. But with the survival garden seeds, they share with you how to save the seeds for a few years. This way you don't have to keep buying from them. And just think about that. Remember when I was stating in like a previous video, like the goal for me creating a channel like this or even sharing things with you is to become self-sufficient. If every year we could save our seeds, we won't have to rely on seed companies or anything else, especially in the summer, to have food, right? We won't have to rely on them to be able to grow our food, right? So got the seeds, like I said, from Survival Garden Seeds. Really like this company. Hopefully their seeds will do their thing. I did get another seed company too, because I'm a pepper fanatic. The other company I got my peppers from was, one second. All right, the other set was from Tiny Greens, and this is an 8 pepper seed pack, 9 GMO heirloom seeds, cayenne, California Wonder, bell pepper, Thai chili, habanero, jalapeno, serrano, and ghost chili. Ghost chili, that's my favorite. If you're interested in cooking with ghost chili, the Smalls family has now created their season company. We got little season blends going, and one of the things that we sell are ghost chili peppers dried up. So if you're interested, just let me know. And I'll actually put the little link eventually of our little Etsy page inside of the description so that you can purchase those chilies, the dried chilies to cook with, on the site. That would be great. All right. And thank you for your support. So what I really bought this for was for the cayenne. If you like heat, I don't know, maybe my tongue is dead or has died. I don't know. But I have grown cayenne peppers for a few years, and I have noticed that they are never as hot as I would like it to be. The cayenne pepper is a little spicy. I like putting that on extra things. But, you know, the fresh pepper, I like growing it. So maybe one day I'll try a hot sauce. California Wonder bell pepper, I bought it for that. Poblano chilies, I don't really cook with them, but I figured what the hey, I could try to grow them and, you know, do like chili relleno and little things like that. Thai chili, I have grown Thai chilies before, and I made a Thai chili hot sauce, almost sriracha-ish, but not quite. I think I'm going to hold off on Thai chilies this year. Habaneros, definitely going to do. Definitely make my habanero hot sauce. And, you know, just watch out for the recipe video on that later on. Of course, that'll be in the summer because I really want to use the peppers that I grew for that. Jalapenos, serranos, which I love, and ghost chilies. I love ghost chilies. I really like them. They're spicy. They're very spicy. And if you use ghost chili powder and stuff, wow. Okay, get back to the gardening. I got distracted. Okay, the other seed company I used this year as well is Rebel Gardens. And this one is vegetable garden with 13 organic vegetables. And here are the vegetables that are in there. I'm not going to go through them all. The only reason why I bought these smaller packs, not necessarily for myself, but for my mother and my aunt. So my aunt, she's going to start her garden this year. And so I will also be doing some seeds starting for her as well as myself. So one thing I want to share are some of the seeds. Oh, scratch that. I didn't get there yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. So another thing I bought besides the survival garden seeds, got those from Amazon as well. This seed kit was about $30. The Rebel Garden seed kit was, I believe, like $17. The one that's the smaller set if you don't want as many seeds. The pepper seed kit was about $10 because it was just peppers. I believe it was $10 or $15. I'll be more specific in the description. And I did buy a thing that had like a mix of tomatoes. I'm not going to use those because it's not like one tomato. It's like I thought I would have like 4 different tomato seed packs. Some chumpies are all blended in. So it's like a Russian roulette with tomatoes. I love tomatoes, but I don't want that. So I won't even include that here. So I also got what's very, very important is a seed starting potting mix. Okay. Now, some people might say like, well, it's dirt. Don't seeds grow in dirt? And yes, they do. But it's very important that you start your seeds off with a seed starting potting mix. All right. I just happened to get Miracle Grow. You don't have to use Miracle Grow. I have used that. I've used the one that comes with the actual like seed start, the little peat mix. I've used those. The Bonnie. I think Bonnie seed starting kit. I've gotten that. I've gotten several over the years. They pretty much all kind of do the same thing. The main thing is that a seed starting mix is just like it says on the bag, specially formulated for root development. And so sometimes when we get stuff from like just get some dirt from outside, yeah, our stuff might grow. Sorry, my video cut off. So yes, our seeds, they might grow. However, the root is not as strong. And remember, the root needs to be strong so that we can transport it from one section to the next. Okay. So now let's take a look at some of the little tools I have. What was cool about these little seed starting kits here, they came with little tools. So we can use the little trowel and the little spade and whatever this little forky thing is called. It escapes me right now. So the little pitchfork thingamajiggy. We can use all of this to help us, you know, put our dirt in. This was cute. I thought this was a cute feature. I do have some gloves. If you are sensitive to like the soil and the stuff that's in the soil, you might want to use gloves. Usually, to the most part, I like to touch the earth. So I do get my hands in the dirt. But, you know, whatever floats your boat, you do that. It's a good day for me to do this too, because I need my nails done so they can look all crazy and my feelings won't be hurt because they're not fresh, right? So let's go over some of the seeds that I have. I have okra, beets, melon. The melon is actually cantaloupe, watermelon, cucumber, another kind of cucumbers, because I have cucumbers for pickling and regular cucumbers. Now, again, remember I mentioned the Smalls family got a little spice blend thing going on, and one of our spice blends is a pickling spice. So if you want to check that out, I'll share that with you as well. Collards, of course, because I love those. Kales, and these are like a straight leaf, not so much a curly leaf kale. I don't know if you noticed that. All right, hopefully it's those, but it doesn't matter. Kale and collards taste great together. Lettuce, broccoli, arugula, turnips, which I love, but these are snowball turnips. They still do they turnip duty. Eggplant, spinach, onion, tomatoes, 4 different types of tomatoes. I'm sorry, cilantro and basil. Now, cilantro and basil, I'm going to start in the house for a while. I have little pots for these that I will keep in the pots. The basil I might transport outside. The cilantro I might do a little bunch of cilantro outside, but to the most part I have 2 pots that I'm going to put the cilantro and the basil in. So I'm not going to start them in here. I'm going to start them in a pot and really just keep them in that pot for a while. The onions I'm going to start outside. If you read the directions, sometimes it tells you when it says to sow seeds, putting in the seeds, it says grow in full partial shade, sow seeds inches apart, blase. I'm not going to read it, but you know what I mean. When it says that, you got to wait for the soil to get warm enough to plant it outside. Everything does not need to start inside. Everything does not need to start inside. All right. Onions, melons, okra. Let me show you again because I missed that. Onions, melon, okra, cucumbers, watermelon. What else? Turnips, definitely turnips, and zucchini. These need to start outside. Okay. Another thing, zucchini, cucumbers, watermelons. I don't know about okra yet. This is my first time growing okra. But zucchinis, cucumbers, watermelons, even green beans, they spread out. So when you grow these, try to grow them away from other things. At 1 year, I did try to grow my cucumbers in like a tub. I have a tub out there. It didn't really roll like I wanted it to. So we'll try something different this year. I'll try it again. But I made sure my cucumbers were separate from everything else. And then even in the tub, the thing rolled out the tub into the lawn. So make sure when you are growing your cucumbers, they are growing alone. And I think what I'm going to do for the cucumbers, watermelon, all those things, because they all do the same thing. They vine out, they spread out. I'm going to fence around them and kind of like make a trellis so that when they grow to that fence, they're growing all around that fence and not necessarily growing around anything else. So please make I'm going to make sure they're wrapped around, they grow around that trellis. So please make sure when you're doing that, they're separate from the rest of your vegetables, because they will choke them out. Okay, because they like to take over. So like I said, the okra, I'm not really sure, but okra does recommend that you put it directly in the ground. And the reason why I would really, even though it says you can start 4 to 6 weeks before planting outside, because on the back it literally states, be careful. It says take care not to disturb roots. I don't have time for that. When I done put all my heart and my love into starting to plant and then I accidentally break a root, nah. I'm putting you right in the ground, sweetie, and we're going to be okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is take my seed starting mix, fill up each one of these little trays with my seed starters. Okay. With my seed starting mix, and then I'll be back. All right, so now what I'm doing, I have my seed starters started. I have my pot for my cilantro and my basil. And then I also have my little seed starter, seed starting inside of my little grow kits, okay? Luckily, I have 11 different seeds in 10 pots. One of these little seed starter pots I'm going to split between arugula and cabbage. So now, not cabbage, kale. And so now what I'm doing, I'm taking the back end of this little trowel. This came in with these kits. And I'm making little holes. I'm not going that deep. I'm only going about here. All right. About here. You don't want them too deep. So that I can put the seeds in the hole and just lightly cover the dirt over, just using my hands. Remember, I'm one of those people who like to use my hands. If you like to use gloves, knock yourself out. It doesn't do anything different. So after I do that, I'm going to start also labeling the pots. I also like that the kits came with these little tags that you can label. It even came with a pen. I mean a marker. It's not the best, but it does its thing. So I'm going to label my tags, put them in my pots, and then I'm going to start planting. So I'll be back. All right, so I have my seeds in. I put some water on top of my seeds, just enough to dampen my soil. And now, and make sure I put my tags in, and now I'm ready to cover it up. One thing I want to mention, just in case you're starting off with your seeds and, you're new to the planting game or whatever. Collards, kale, broccoli, and cabbage seeds all look alike. So please, and they all start off alike too. So make sure you label them so that you're not confused with what's coming up where or anything like that. And also in the event that the seeds fall out or something like that, just make sure you're labeling those seeds, kale, collards, broccoli, cabbage, because they do look alike. They are actually in the same family. So now I'm going to take these and I'm going to cover them up. And I think these are really cool because sometimes, as I stated earlier, moisture does get into the plant. And if you can't control the moisture, it has a tendency to either make the plant too dry or too wet, and that causes a problem. I have a seed in there. Okay, so now I'm going to do that to each plant. I'm going to start it off with just being covered completely, and then as the time grows on, I will open it up if I start to see some condensation. And then as time progresses, I'll actually record what that looks like and show you what I do with that.